All right, y'all.
Yo,
Locked and loaded, man. We up and running. First episode. Your boy Devon here with Kabir the Great.
yo,
What's up,
yo,
man?
yo.
So let's just go
What up,
ahead
Brody?
and continue the conversation that we was having as far as like, what makes a hit and who got hits and who
Yeah,
don't got hits. Yeah, I mentioned
for
Young Boy.
sure.
Yeah, I mentioned Young
Yeah,
Boy. And I was saying I don't really think he has hits, although he does have, a very strong fan base, a strong following. He's a successful rapper, but I don't think he has hits. And I think there's
yeah.
a lot of artists that are like
Highly
that.
successful, for sure. For sure. For sure. I would even argue that E40 really didn't even have hit until he had that one song, like Tell Me
Yeah,
When to Go
tell me when to go. Yeah, yeah.
and
It's called Get a Report Card.
and like yeah. And of lately, like Everybody Has Choices, like that song too.
Yeah, well, I'll say like I think that blew him up. He had a couple of like little mainstream hits before that. Like he had that song with Nate Dogg. He had that song
Yeah.
with Fabulous, Automatic, Systematic.
Yeah, that was that was
But
kind of he was kind of stretching for a hit right there. He's kind of reaching out for sure, kind of
yeah, but
tilting a little more mainstream. That's fair.
what I'm saying is that got major play on across the country. You
Yeah,
know, he had
yeah.
he had a major feature, with Fabulous and stuff like that. So like
I
I said,
love
that
E40.
was my favorite E40 songs, but I think that you can consider that like
Mhm.
so he had a couple
Yeah,
sprinkles here and there, but I agree with you that my Get a Report Card, like that album blew him up. You know,
too short, too short. Pioneer, independent. He didn't really have his first hit until Little John Blow the Whistle,
I disagree.
and the Ghetto too,
Oh
and
yeah, I
the
was gonna
Ghetto.
say the
That
ghetto. I
one
remember
song,
being a
the
kid
Ghetto.
listening to the ghetto. That was a huge song. That was a huge song back in the day.
And Getting It had a lot of good songs too,
Getting,
but
getting,
I want to say
getting,
like as
got
far as
spins.
like mainstream,
Getting it got spins.
yeah, Getting It was good. Like mainstream, Tell Me When to Go. I mean, Blow the Whistle.
Blow the Whistle is arguably his biggest hit though.
That's my point, right? And I think if I remember correctly, even Blow the Whistle was on some of the NBA 2K sports games.
I, I believe
Blow the Whistle.
Blow the Whistle.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. That's what I mean by hit. That's what I mean by like his biggest song. That's fair.
Yeah, like Drake took half of his verse. So yeah, that was his hugest
Yeah.
song.
Hmm.
So let's get back to that topic that we were discussing before, as far as like major label versus independent. Go ahead, give me your thoughts on that again.
Independent. Independent, if you have a team and you got like the money to invest, and if it doesn't go the way you plan, you didn't mind losing a couple 100,000 bare minimum, maybe 500,000 to like get started for sure.
I think you
For
could.
sure. It takes time.
Well, we were discussing as far as like, because I agree as far as like I think independent's the way to go. Like I figure the grind is the same either way, right? Like you go independent,
Yeah.
you're putting all your money up front. You're putting in all that
Yeah.
labor as far as promoting, advertising, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Creative work,
Yeah.
all the creative work. You don't have any ghostwriters. You don't have a team to help you. You don't have any
Yeah.
distribution. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're doing all that legwork on your own, as compared to a major label where they have all that structure in place. They have the promotional
Yeah.
team.
A
Uh,
system.
they have the link to all the radio stations and all the DJs. You know what I mean? Like they got all that.
Facts. The connections.
The connections, the distribution they already got in place, all that good stuff.
The
And
interviews.
and they know where to get it for cheap. You know what I mean? They know where to get all their supplies and stuff for
Yeah.
cheap. How to,
Yeah.
how to print up their discs.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure they're mass producing compared to you as an independent. You probably print up like a thousand copies, whereas the major label they'll print out 1,000,000.
Yeah.
You get a better price cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they
Right.
get price.
Right.
So yeah, there's all those advantages, but at the same time, you sign to a major label. That whole like, if your first two albums are not successful, you're done for. You're forever paying the label back.
Oh, for sure.
So
For sure. You're in debt
got
forever. And
for all that shit, it's just they're paying for it up front instead of you paying for it and doing all that legwork. They're paying. So that's what I'm saying. Like the hustle is similar, but I think the reward is better for
right.
independence, because you like what it says. You have your independence, you have your freedom. You're not bound by a label.
Yeah.
you haven't sold your soul. So
And labels work the same difference as banks. So if you get an advance for, I don't care, you put the number on it, you have to pay that back with compound interest.
and
Period.
yes, you have to pay that back
In the
with.
music world, they know it as recouping, right? Right.
Absolutely. So, like I said, we're gonna disagree on this next topic. But is Drake the greatest hit maker ever? You say
I'm
yes.
gonna put Tupac and Biggie beside,
Decide. Okay.
because they died at the height of their. Mhm. And I believe that Tupac and Biggie, just in that order, are the greatest rappers ever. Right, just in that order.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put them to the side because they died at the height of their career. They were kids. Their brains weren't even fully developed. Right, they were like 24. So I'm putting them to the side. Minus them, is he the greatest hit maker? Yep, landslide.
Landslide.
Yep. Yeah, because Drake had enough sense to take he took a little bit of LL Cool J, took a little bit learning from Wayne, took a little bit from other artists, and
That's
when Drake writes, right, people believe him too.
so for one, when you say when he writes, that's already a touchy subject. But uh, like so I have mentioned before, like how are we judging this? What genre are we just sticking to strictly hip hop and rap, or are we looking at all genres? If we're looking at all genres, I
Rap.
say definitely
No,
not.
let's go rap.
But if you're looking at just rap and hip
Just
hop,
rap.
I agree. He does have an argument. My dislike for Drake, but I agree that he does have an argument for one of the. I'm not gonna say because all right. So greatest, like just like when you talk about the GOAT debate, the word greatest and best and all that, those have slightly different meanings. You know what I mean? So when you say greatest,
Yeah.
I don't say greatest. I say he has like the most hits. He's able to produce the most hits, but greatest, I don't know. And then
I guess
go ahead.
if you had to go to a concert, you have to go, right? Are you
Mm,
going to a Drake concert, a Kendrick concert, or a Hove concert? Like whose concert are you gonna go to? Who are you gonna spend your money with?
I
If
would
you had to go to a concert.
I would definitely go to a Kendrick concert.
That's fair. That's fair. Me too. I like Kendrick. Right. For sure. For sure. But he doesn't have more hits than Drake.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He doesn't have more hits than Drake. Who does have more hits than Drake? You could have said Jay-Z at one time, but I don't think that's true anymore. Who has more hits than Drake?
Yeah, that because yeah, we could have said Jay Z at one time. That's fair. Yeah, for sure. Hove, it's the
But,
Rock.
but that goes into my point though. As far as saying who has more hits, I don't think that is equivalent to being a great artist, right? Because there's a lot of people that buy into some kind of gimmick or something like that. That don't mean that
For
they're
sure.
true artists or better than a true artist.
And even if a person, and even if a person is buying into that, guess what? The consumer's never wrong. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Right for
Yeah.
long. It may never
You
be
said
wrong.
the consumer's never what?
They're never right for long. Meaning, uh, people
I can
that
vote that too.
change very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I could dig it. Let's
I'm
let's
just
shift
saying
gears.
in retrospect.
So since we're talking about Drake and Drake being a great hit maker and all that, this moves me to
Yeah, for sure.
my next topic. Do you think that it should matter if a person has a ghostwriter? Should ghostwriting matter in hip hop?
Easy E writes the rhymes. Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. So when Easy E came out and said that, it solidified it. It does not matter, period. It doesn't. Too late now. That's fair. Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. And he didn't even get paid for that. So that's my point. Shout out to Cube. Old
So
Ice Cube before he melted on us, though, for sure.
I think that's not true. So when it comes to any other genre of music, I don't think it matters who writes it, right? Because when you're talking about like
No,
when you're
for
talking
sure
about
it doesn't.
when you're talking about R&B singer or like a country singer or any other thing, right? Which what
They embrace writing. They want help. They want educated people that graduated in English. They want help for sure. They have sense for sure, for sure.
so when it comes to a singer or something like that, uh, you're not judging them off of the story that they're telling, right? You're not judging them off of the story of
No,
the song. You're more judging their voice, right?
no,
Whitney
a
Houston,
thousand
she,
percent.
she's renowned because she had a beautiful voice, not because of the lyrics in her songs.
He
Um,
can go acapella.
Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Mariah Carey, they're renowned because of the sound
They
of
can
the
go acapella.
right. So when it comes to them,
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, they're renowned for the sound, the sonics of their voice, right? So when it comes to
Yeah,
them, they
yeah,
can they can have ghostwriters all day, but when it came to rap and hip hop, right, the storytelling
yeah.
was the important part, right? We fall in love with their
Right.
storytelling, right? And like
Authentic. Right.
what we like about them is we believe them. We believe the stories, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if you find out that these stories that you've been enjoying, that you've been vibing to, that you think that you're getting like you're getting to know the artist, and you find out that this isn't their story,
Authenticity.
right? This is someone
Hmm.
this is someone else's life that they're just telling you. You know what I mean? And they're passing it off as their own. I feel
Promote it,
I feel
promote it for marketing
first.
for sure.
So I think it to me when it comes to rap and hip hop, uh, authenticity is very important. And even if you're like even if you're telling someone else's story, right? Because like I know Pac, a lot of times he would rap about someone else's story, but it's Pac.
Yeah, Brendan's got a baby.
It's Pac telling the story. It's not someone else telling the story for Pac.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like that
yeah,
shit
no.
to me, I feel like I'm a true hip hop head. That shit matters to me as far as ghostwriting. I can't get down with ghostwriters, especially like you start talking about like battle raps and shit like that, or diss tracks and shit like that. Like, yeah, it better be all you.
Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes, like Snoop said, me and DLC, we couldn't get it. We just couldn't that day. They
Bro,
called the nigga Hove, and
bro.
he wrote still.
Talking about DLC, this wasn't even a topic on hand, but I want to get into this real quick. DLC may be one of the biggest what ifs in hip hop to me. I think DLC was so dope.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
for
DLC,
sure,
was, DLC was even writing for
for
NWA too.
sure,
I think he wrote a few a
for
few.
sure, for sure. You can right, for
He was
sure,
a hell of a writer, bro. He was really talented, and he didn't really get to do his
for
thing.
sure,
He had a little accident or whatever, but I
for
think
sure.
biggest what ifs.
And it hurt him and mess up his voice.
Or
Yeah,
like also too another big what if is
yeah.
I don't know if you heard of Lil Snoop, the dude that the youngster, he was like 18. He got
I heard of him, but I never really paid attention to him like that. No, I
he
heard
got
of him though.
uh I think he was in a studio after playing like some video game or something like that. Just some old buster ass nigga.
Oh, that little kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was 17. He was signed to like Dream Chasers,
Heard,
Meek Mills and them, I think.
I don't know if you ever heard him rap. Dude was pretty dope though. Dude was nice. So there's a lot of
Yeah, he could
like
actually rap. Yeah.
you know, uh, that might be a segment I bring up too, like what ifs, who's the biggest what ifs or whatever, or just reminiscing on who
Yeah.
the potential stars. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He could definitely rap for sure. For sure. And as the story goes, allegedly, he got killed over like some kind of video games or playing video games with a grown man or something like that. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
The story just didn't sound.
like that. But yeah, that's what I heard. It was over a video game. Like,
And
bro, come on, we gotta.
this doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, right? I agree with that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, it doesn't make sense.
But you never know, man. Sometimes niggas do things that don't make no sense, man.
Yeah. And you kind of, I mean, can you be in the right state of mind going against your natural diet and being dehydrated and using drugs and drinking alcohol? I mean, how long can a person stay in a toxic state and not affect their psyche? That's fair.
Well, if you've been exposed to that your whole life, have you ever been in your right mind?